Yo, man, this is Shaggy Too Dope with this bitch. I might be dope, but I ain't as dope as RoX-TV, you know what I'm saying? If you want to check out all the dopest latest shit out in this tour, motherfucker, check out RoX-TV, you motherfucker, you.
RoX-TV, your link to the underground and to the mainstream, yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to RoX-TV Weekly. I am your host, Sid Jones, here with my co-host, Casper, and today we've got some awesome guests with us. We've got a monster cast with us. We've got Bakelo. Bakelo, you've got a monster album coming up.
That's true, that's true. I actually already released it, but I'm doing physical copies soon, so...
Solid. And we've got an actual Monstar with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Monstar with us in the house. Sir, please introduce yourself.
What's happening, y'all? Aunt G, how you doing?
Guys, we got an awesome show for you today. We're actually going to be talking about something because we've got a Monster Cash with us. We've got to discuss this topic, and this is the Space Jam 2 film that's in the works. But first off, let's talk about the weekend a little bit. I heard some things, Casper, seen some things. How was your weekend?
My weekend was actually pretty dope. Ran into a lot of people that I know at this dope-ass show. A lot of people, and just it was like a little mini gathering, pretty much. It was cool as fuck. There were so many of my people that I seen there. And I don't really remember much else of what I did this weekend. My days all kind of run together on me. Like, I'm one of those people, if I say the other day, it could be like 2 hours ago or 6 years ago. Like, you never know. My days all just squish together on me. I'm not very good with keeping track of time and what I do and where I go. That's why I got a manager.
It's that show life.
That's why I got a manager. You tell me where I got to go like a day ahead of time will be golden. But you try to tell me a month ahead of time, I'll forget. Just remind me a couple days ahead.
Be late.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, Sid, you got a comment about your mohawk. Look at that. They call Ashley Marie said it was a Sid Hawk.
Oh,
and
Sid
Daniel
Hawk.
Perez says, I can't wait for the Aunt G album.
We got Whoop Whoops. Sid got a dope-ass mohawk. Sid takes it, though. That is from the Phil Water God. I believe that is 15, 16, 17. That is 17 in Roman numerals. I know my Roman numerals. Hooray!
Yeah. Aren't you special?
I am very special. So I gotta ask you guys, how was your guys' weekend? You guys got any shows that you went to? Any shows coming up that you want to talk about?
I did a lot.
He did a lot.
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I went out to Brooklyn. I had a show out there with Esham, Mr. Hyde, Schizo, Spazzavelli. Absolutely dope weekend. We went down and seen Manhattan, Times Square, and all that.
I seen pictures of that shit. I was so jelly, bro.
It was dope, but of course, man, you know how it goes. You're playing this dope-ass trip, and it's got to pour rain, so... We were all just fucking soaked, but still made the best of it either way.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of dope pictures from that shit.
Yeah,
I seen it being posted up on Facebook. Because you went with Dankish, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, Dankish fucking, me and him killed it up on the stage. And I don't know, it was a good-ass time, man.
Dude, I had Dankish spin for me for the first time, and it's so much better when you got someone there backing you up with it and scratching on top of your shit. It was fucking awesome.
Got pulled over along the way, but we were good. In Pennsylvania.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Did you get pulled over in Amish country?
No, thankfully. And it was some state troopers, so they probably seen some more shit than, just some regular city cops.
Right.
So they were like, oh, y'all got weed? And it's like, yeah, of course we do.
I mean, yeah, we're from Michigan, man. You see the plate?
They were cool. They let us go. No tickets, no nothing. So we were
That's
good.
a lot of weed.
Wow, in Pennsylvania, they let you go without tickets.
I'm not gonna say.
If you were in Ohio, it would have been a completely different story. Yeah. They would have put like murder on that as well. But like, oh, and we're putting them down for like a murder charge.
I don't know how that works. I do have my card, but it's registered in Michigan, so I don't know if that works in Ohio too.
Apparently, down in Texas, like one of the little cartridges is a felony.
Jeez.
Like you get caught with one of those, it's a fucking felony.
Yeah, but in Virginia, didn't our boss get away with something like that?
It wasn't Virginia Beach, but it's a little bit different because like Texas is like straight up, it's bad, it's meth bad, which is funny because like I ran into so many people that smoke meth in Texas, it blew my mind, and they talk about it like weed. For real, they talk about it like it's just weed or something. I'm like, dude, that's not
Right.
All right,
It's
Southerners. Okay, I guess you guys
You
like
want
your
smoke?
meth or
Smoke
something like
what?
that. But Virginia Beach was a little weird. Like, and it was crazy because he got in trouble because he went the wrong way down a one-way. Because when you pulled out of the venue, apparently it was a one-way, but the only signs for the one-way were on the corners. You couldn't see it leaving the venue entrance. And he went to go and drop Shaggy off at the door behind backstage, or pick him up, one of the two. And I guess the camera at the light caught him going down the wrong way, and they called the fucking squad car and told him where he was and had a squad car find him and pull him over.
That's so
They
petty,
fucking
man.
searched the car and went through everything, and we're just total assholes about it. He ended up having to have a lawyer go to court for him because it was in Virginia Beach. He wasn't spending all the fucking money to go back down to Virginia Beach, so he just paid a lawyer to go and take care of it. Thankfully, the lawyer was able to have it dismissed because he's got his med card here in the state, and they have medical in Virginia. So since they have it in one specific state and you have it in another state, they have to honor that in that state. But if they don't have medical, like Texas, which I'm pretty sure they don't, if a cartridge is a fucking felony, it's just way different. It depends on where you are and what you got and what you're doing, and honestly, how cool the cop is.
I wonder if that's like up for discretion, or like if they don't have medical, like it's a no whether you have your card or not.
I'm pretty sure that's how it is in a lot of different states.
Yeah, I'm not quite
That's
hip on all
crazy.
that right now. Like, how does that? Since we legalized it for recreational use,
It's only here in the state. Like if
Just
you
here.
get caught trying to take marijuana out of this state, you're still transporting drugs across the border.
Damn.
damn it.
Yeah.
So it's like The Mule. That great film, by the way. Great film. Clint Eastwood is back in acting for this role in The Mule, and he has no idea for like a few runs that he's even dealing drugs. He's like, I'm just bringing packages to these nice fellows here at this fucking truck stop thing. It's
Yeah,
great.
like we're the Millers.
Right.
I love that fucking movie. You guys are getting paid? I love that movie, dude. I watched that the other night, actually. It was on TV.
Here, you have nothing to worry about.
Oh, my God. And when the spider bites his balls, I cringe every time. Every damn time. That spider was the size of a pair of balls, dude. That spider was fucking
It does
huge.
seem like your kind of movie, Casper. You're into that dumb comedy stuff. Speaking of dumb
It's
comedy
funny.
stuff, I actually just saw the new Johnny English film, and I loved it.
Holy shit.
Have you seen it?
No, I can't. I don't know. I've never been able to get into them at all, man.
Well, I figured since we're talking stupid comedies, but I guess since it doesn't involve drugs, it's not up Casper's alley.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, it's
I like
true.
funny shit.
Yeah, that involves
Especially
drugs.
stupid funny. It matches my IQ.
I thought he was gonna say I like drugs.
I mean, oh yeah, I
drugs.
like drugs too. Specific drugs. Meth, that's a little different, but like I like psychedelics. They sent me to another world for a while.
So this came to me a couple days ago, and I called you about this. Did you do your homework like I asked you to? Did you do your homework, Casper?
About what?
Vinny Paz
No.
and Jedi Mind Tricks
No.
performing at the
I
gathering
didn't
of
get the
the
chance to.
Juggalos.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man. When I heard this, see, I got involved with listening to Vinny Paz and Jedi Mind Tricks when I was working up at Attitash back in 2011. My buddy's like, dude, you got to check this out. These guys are dope. And it was Vinny Paz's group. It was Army of the Pharaohs that I got into, and then it was Jedi Mind Tricks. But they got a track called Dump the Clip. Now, for those of you that don't know, also Tech Nine will be playing. And I'm bringing that to everyone's attention with an awesome segue here. Tech Nine and Vinny Paz were on a track together with, it was Slane, Swifty McVeigh, King Gordy, Sid from Slipknot, not me, Sid from
I was
Slipknot.
gonna say, damn man, that's a good spot.
Yeah, not bad. And we've also got Bizarre on there and a bunch of others. It's a solid track. It's called Real Wolf Underground. So if you guys have been sleeping on Real Wolf,
Wake up, huh?
yeah, definitely wake up because
That's a
this is
dope track.
solid. They've got two of them
Yeah, I
out.
heard it. That's fire.
Real Wolf Underground Volume 1, Real Wolf Underground Volume 2, and it's like a cipher. But they didn't do a music video. So it's like all of them like doing their own thing. Like Slane's like drinking this like cleaner, some sort of like cleaner thing. He's like spazzing out, and then it's Tech at the end of it. He's got his own thing going on with like these chicks and shit, singing about like reindeers and Santa Claus. It's hilarious. And then you've got King Gordy smoking blunts. Beautiful Woman Around the Bazaar's doing the same thing. And then it's like I think it's Swifty McVeigh. There's a building burning behind him as he's walking down the street. So that's solid.
That sounds very busy.
Does he do that like walk away explosion, but don't look?
No.
at the explosion
The
type
building's
thing?
burning in the back. It's just burning, and he's just walking down the street. It's
Rapid,
great.
like a building's not
So
on fire.
Tech Nine, Vinny Paz, Jedi Mind, I love it. I'm so excited. That was like the first, I believe the first like official announcement was Vinny Paz and Jedi Mind, and I was like, take all my money, and I was reminded that I will be at the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of work because I'm gonna be busy.
Yeah,
So
I got a lot
we're
of
gonna
work
have to
ahead of
send
me.
you and some other people to help cover everything because there's a lot.
My
going
babysitter. We will be sending me. We will be
on. So glad I
assigning
don't
me.
gotta babysit your ass.
Someone's got to. Someone's got to.
We gotta make sure your babysitter has your juice box and knows that 4 o'clock is your nap.
Capri Sun, as you
You're
pointed
changing
out.
Capri Sun.
You tagged me in that.
Oh yeah. What was it? I set down my Capri Sun and I tell her I'm ready for sex time now or something like that. Or no, I'm ready to do sex. That's what it was. I set down my Capri Sun and told her I'm ready to do sex.
So, Gathering of the Juggalos, guys. What are you guys' thoughts? You're a Monstar here, sir. You've got some gathering experience.
Yeah, man. The Gathering of the Juggalos is going to be really outrageous. Got some nice shit planned for that.
20th annual.
Yeah, man.
Super gathering.
I do the sets with light, as you all know. You know what I'm saying? So we got some pretty killer-ass performances coming up with that.
Big Balls after party for day 2. I was there for that.
Shit is wild every time, man. The crazy shit is, man, my first gathering, I had to fully jump in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to chug Jack Daniels, put an acid strip on my shit, and just see what happens. I woke up underneath the car, you know what I mean? And this was before, like, you know what I mean? I didn't know shit. I was just like, oh, you just go wild, man. Just go buck wild. I regretted it a little bit after, you know what I'm saying? Like, a couple things, you know what I'm saying? But, like,
That wasn't me. I didn't do that. Yeah,
other
dude,
than
that was
I'm
you.
just like, yo, pictures or it didn't happen. So, yeah, basically I gathered my ass off and became a vet when I was still a rookie.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Did you wake up on the wrong side of someone else's tent that morning at all?
I woke
or-
up on the wrong side of underneath someone's car, man, and rolled out. I heard Light talking, weirdly enough, out of all them thousands of people. I heard Light talking. He was like, I remember the shit. He was going to watch Slick Rick, I think, man. And I had rolled out.
From underneath the
From
car.
under a car, like, Light, man, Light. He's like, what the fuck?
He didn't even know you was
You know what
there.
I'm saying? I'm like, oh, shit. And then I had to, like, come to grips, you know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, man, I need to get my mind right. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is wrong with me? So I had to, like, go nap it off a little bit. And then I started to act civil. You know what I'm saying?
Yup.
So, yeah, basically I gathered.
One of our sponsors, Casper, says we are gonna be there with some goodies.
Yes, the 7th Dimension people. I seen you just showed that to me, and
Yes, I did.
okay, I love y'all's kratom. I really do. I need some red vein. Send me some of the red vein that you got, cause I need it for pain, man. I need it for pain.
Oh, man, yeah,
but
that's nice.
they got this dope shit though. The package that we showed you earlier, it's
Yeah.
for the energy and
the
focus.
focus,
Yeah,
I've seen
it's
that.
like a really light Adderall, and it just like. You got to do something for that day. You can do it that day.
You be focused and energized.
Exactly, and you ain't gonna stop until that job is done. And that's just how it works.
Oh, I was wrong. It's not called the Underground. It's called the Underworld, not the Underground Mix. I was corrected by somebody in the chat. So it was called Real Wolf Underworld.
Okay.
My apologies. I was calling it the Underground because we are, of course, your number one source in underground, your new music television.
That's what we do.
So it's always at the
Big, you
forefront
got
of my
any good
mind.
gathering stories? I know you were at the gathering last year.
I don't remember any of them.
You don't remember any of them at all? You've been to like 10, man. You don't remember shit.
I don't know, man. There's so many of them.
Didn't Histio get his tent broken into at the first day last year?
It was actually his car, man.
Oh, it was his car?
Yeah, I walked up on some dude just ruffling through his car. I'm like, what? I thought it was him at first.
Yeah.
I realized it wasn't him, and I pulled dude out.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I guess security was saying that he was running around in the street naked and all that shit, beating off in the bushes. Like, damn.
I wonder if he was one of those
Whip
methods.
some ass that night?
I'm not gonna say nothing, but
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
You know
no,
what I'm
he's like, man, he what did
There
he
was
say?
Juggalo justice served.
He's like, oh,
Okay.
he gave me the keys to get in his car, and he was still passed out in the back seat. Didn't even wake up through none of this. It's like, how do you give you his keys if he's passed out in the back seat? And
Right.
he'd never seen dude before.
Woke up
So-
and fell back out.
Right.
Yeah, man. Here you go.
Here you go, buddy. Just don't crash
Yeah,
it.
that's horrible, man.
Yeah.
That's definitely not
And
Juggalo
then
love.
sure enough, I
Juggalo
my
justice,
boy's
bro.
phone's missing, and it's in his pocket, dude's pocket. So
Yeah, Juggalo justice was served.
Yeah.
Like, I seen that video. I think it was like a Jeep or something that they completely destroyed. I don't remember what the one dude
was
did.
stealing backpacks and shit.
Something bad, and everybody got
Yeah.
pissed off at him, and they just destroyed his truck or the car. And then I remember
Oh,
at the
then they
very
roll
end of the
that car?
video, yeah, dude fucking parks his big ass Jeep on top of the car, just sitting there while they beat the shit out of it. I guess they like picked it up and carried it away and shit. don't piss off juggalos, man.
I
don't
fucking
steal the
love.
family. For real.
I love juggalos, man.
For real,
Since I
dude.
came into this whole world and universe shit, I love the juggalos, man. I have a
Nicest
really
people
special
ever.
spot in my heart for the juggalos. And you know what I mean? People that I might fuck with outside of the juggalo world or the dark carnival be like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is that? What the fuck's he got on? You know what I'm saying? Is that makeup? I'm like, yeah, bitch, it's makeup. Shut the fuck up.
Kiss did it.
That's
Fuck
one of
you.
the coolest motherfuckers I know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
Straight up, man. Juggalos got mad love from Aunt G.
They're some of the most kind-hearted motherfucking people in the world, but
For
you
real.
just don't piss them off.
Hey,
Well,
one
don't
thing
do
I'ma
them
add
wrong.
is if you can't handle your drugs, don't do them.
Yeah.
Truth.
Because it might be
That's-
breaking into someone's car and getting beat up.
Yeah, truth. Yeah, and then you can't even blame it on the
someone's
drugs at that
tent or
point.
whatever.
No,
It's
that was
like-
just your own fucked up morals.
So you guys fuck with all sorts of different music.
That one's yours.
You guys are fans of the Juggalo scene. I gotta ask you guys though, any Eminem fans here? I'm talking to you gentlemen sitting here at this table, and I'm talking to you in the chat, Eminem fans, because we got some big news with Eminem regarding this Friday.
Yeah, man, you were saying that. I'm a huge Eminem fan, man. I can't lie. I'm a huge fucking Eminem fan. I think he's a GOAT, man. I think he's really,
Like I said
really good.
all the time, growing up as a 90s kid in Metro Detroit, Eminem, Kid Rock, and ICP. That's what I grew up on.
Yeah,
like,
word.
I knew every word of pretty much every song back from, like, early 90s up into fucking mid to late 2000s. I knew everything.
Just the whole not give a fuck era.
Exactly. Back when it was dope and it was teaching you fuck what everybody else thinks, do you and be you.
Straight
Hey,
up.
that's
Which is what I
my
love.
that's what I sign off with, man. Is fuck what you think. So
Straight up.
the Eminem anniversary, 20 years. The Slim Shady LP. April 26th, this Friday, we are getting a re-release of the album with merchandise.
Really?
So
Mind blowing, dog.
isn't that crazy? So we're getting like retro, and we're getting like retro interviews that have been put up, like articles from when he was signed to his label.
Wow.
So like the starting of the major label distribution, all that. Like we're getting a bunch of retro stuff on this website. So like when you go to the Eminem website, like it's just going to be like all dedicated to what it was 20 years ago, which is
cool.
That's dope.
great.
Because that's the one. That's one of those CDs that I grew up on, dude. That's one of those ones. I had those two. I had Kid Rock's Grit Sandwiches and the Polyfuse Method and Devil Without a Cause. Fucking all of the old school ICP shit. Fucking, I love all old school shit. Because nothing is made like it was 20, 30 years ago. Nothing sounds the same.
But what I find to be more interesting is that he's keeping to his roots. You know what I mean? And you know, people like when he did that song "Stepping Stone." You know, it was kind of like I got to do this to like set the record straight about D12. But now I'm telling you guys, not only have I not forgotten about D12, and not only do I not love these guys from the bottom of my heart, but I remember where I came from. I love my old music. Just because I'm not doing it that style anymore doesn't mean I got love for it, and I don't recognize that you guys have love for it either. So this is why I'm doing this. That's a statement that I get from Eminem.
Yeah, word. Drugs seemed like they were a big influence back then for
Yeah.
Mr. Mathers. You know what I'm saying?
Was that the one that had I never meant to give you mushrooms?
Oh,
girl?
yeah, yeah.
I know,
dog.
that
Brain
shit-
damage, rock bottom,
Yeah,
fucking,
dude,
if
fucking-
I only had, man, if
Rock
I had
Bottom
$1
was
Bad
million
Meets
dollars.
Evil, and then they ended up fucking doing a whole album of Bad Meets Evil with Royce the 5'9". Like it was hard for me for a minute too because like I wanted to listen to the Bad Meets Evil song, but I couldn't find it because of the fucking album.
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
album is called Bad Meets Evil, and I'm like, I just want one song, and it's not from this album.
It's the
What
LP,
fuck?
right? It's
Yeah.
the one that's coming out for the 20th anniversary.
Well, so here's what happened. I misspoke. Apparently, the album came out last year with some bonus tracks, and which is weird, right? Doesn't make any sense, but it had Bad Meets Evil on it. They actually added that.
No, it was on the original.
Yeah, it was on
Right,
the original.
but they
it was like
added
number
something to it, like
19.
a remix or something to that effect
Really?
on the old one, or on the new one for the re-release, and then they're doing another either re-release for the album this weekend. But I know that they did it for last year. Now my guess is, yeah, so it's going to be like a re-release, I guess, if they end up putting out the album because I know they just
epic.
did one last year. So,
They need to
it,
do a re-release.
but speaking of Eminem, now here's some crazy shit that I just found out before I walked into the office this morning. Dr. Dre was on an interview with XM. Now I want to make sure I got this right. It was Sirius XM Radio, and he's got hundreds of unreleased tracks. Quote: "Most of them are crazy." So-
Apparently, he's got 2 tracks that were never released because they're just too much. Like and
Hundreds,
No.
hundreds, sir. On
No,
my
there's
notes.
there's 2 that were supposed to be on an album. I don't remember exactly what the story was, but there was 2 songs that were supposed to be on one specific album, but Dre wouldn't let him release it because he was just too evil on it or something. I guess he called out the wrong people or said something wrong about somebody. But whatever it was that he said in those tracks, Dre would not let him release it because it was going to cause too much controversy.
Yeah, let's hear him.
I want to, dude. I want to hear those
Where's
tracks
the
so
fucking
bad.
link? Everybody in the chat, send that link.
If you can find it.
Yeah, I hear that.
Straight up. I've heard rumors like that, man. I've heard rumors like Dre put some shit to a cut.
Mhm.
You know, like the Kim song?
Yeah.
Where he's just fucking screaming in that shit the whole time?
Yeah.
I guess he almost
Bleed,
didn't,
bitch,
yeah,
bleed!
I guess he almost didn't let him release that shit. And
No
then
shit.
he ended up doing it.
That's one of my favorite ones
I know
too,
that. I
dude.
said them are some of his best songs when he gets crazy.
Straight the fuck
When
up.
they
It's that
when you
emotion,
let
man.
when you let people be themselves, that's when they come out with the best possible shit. When you don't restrict people and what they want to say or the message they're trying to put out, that's when they give 110% and they put out some of the best shit you will ever fucking hear.
I agree.
Well, if you think that having a vault of music like that is interesting, it's actually more common in music than we realize, because there's a gentleman goes by the name T Money Green.
I love that guy.
Always speaks about
I
how
was
he's got a
telling,
vault.
Aunt G about T Money.
I'm about to shut you down, because I did a top 10 Detroit producers list that you and my boss and everybody else gave me shit for. Who's nominated for the Detroit Music Awards, which will take place also this Friday on April 26th? Who's one of the producers from Detroit that's nominated? T Money Green.
Really?
So,
Love T Money.
Red has also been nominated in several categories. Blazy Dead Homie is nominated. I can speak. We've also got several others from Detroit, man. Foulmouth for producer, by the way, which today is his birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy Wilmy Eviction anniversary.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Happy birthday.
Yep.
That's the homie Foulmouth. So I just wanted to bring that up, that the Detroit Music Awards coming up, we got several nominations for that. It's not just hip-hop, it's rap, it's country, it's rock, it's alternative, songwriters, the whole nine. So I'm very excited, and I'm being told rumors that there's discussion of me being there with my homie Nick from Broken Blanket Productions and worker for RoX-TV, man. So we'd like to welcome Nick officially to the team, because I don't think that's ever been made official.
Hell
So-
yeah.
Is your
Welcome,
mom's
Nick.
name
Welcome,
Sally?
welcome.
Is your mom's name Sally?
Yeah, why? Mama
Your mom said,
Duke's
hey,
on there?
son. Your mom said, hey, son.
What's up, Mama Dukes? Yeah.
And then Will Barduka said, Aunt G, Mama always showing up to show some
She
love.
does,
Oh,
man.
that's
She
what's
does.
That's dope when your
She
family
always-
supports shit.
She's got
that
the
you
mad
do.
support.
Dude, until I started doing this RoX-TV shit, my family never gave a fuck about what I did. They're like,
Man.
oh, this fucking delinquent always just running around.
And then
wasting his
suddenly
life.
you start putting your
Yeah,
name
now
out
everybody's
there.
like, I'm so proud of you. I'm like, no, you're not. Fuck you.
Man, my mom's helped me out a lot, dog, in life. I mean, we might not see eye to eye all the fucking time, but
Oh, yeah, nobody's going to.
she helps me out. Mad love to her, man, and my
That's dope.
stepdad and the whole fam, dog. They're all about the music supporting and shit, so that's cool.
That's
Even if
cool
they
as
don't
fuck.
bump my shit like that, you
Yeah,
know
they
what I mean?
support you doing it.
Only like the wholeheartedly shit. If I'm like,
Yeah, you and your magical ass voice and shit.
then they'll be like, oh, I jammed that shit. But if I'm like, bitch, ain't no thing, you know what I mean? Then they're like, I didn't really care for that one. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't raise you
I
that
support
way.
you, but where the fuck did you learn that from? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that actually brings me to my question to you guys, for both my guests here. I'm from New Hampshire originally, and I've said this many a time. So I've heard songs from like ABK where he's talking about the 313, talking about Detroit, but I never got to really hear a lot of the music coming out of Detroit. Again, being in New Hampshire, and we didn't have the technology back then to send people digital songs or whatever. So I got to ask you guys, what music did you guys grow up on?
Go ahead, man. You can jump on that.
I mean, it's honestly a lot of different styles of music, but a lot of it was from Detroit because I feel like there's a lot of pain and beauty there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you get a lot of different ends of music just from that element alone, I grew up listening to ICP, of course, Eminem. I remember listening to Eminem on this little, FM radio that I had with headphones, you know what I'm saying? Like that was,
Damn.
yeah,
That's right.
you had one of those, you had to be pretty cool, man, but I remember I actually found mine outside somewhere. So.
Nice.
So you were even cooler.
No, I'm just playing.
I meant you cooler,
No.
dog.
But,
That's crazy.
I thought it was cool as fuck when I had one of those anti-skip CD players that fit into your pocket.
You mean
Which
the-
it still skipped every
yeah,
time my
yeah,
buzz
every
hit a
Bang the
bump.
top.
time, yeah.
You
Yeah,
trying to show your friends and shit. Look, it's still going, motherfucker.
Yep.
What's up?
I mean, but I also listen to artists like, actually probably the biggest one I listened to that wasn't from around here or even in this genre was Young Jeezy. Just still listen to him to this day. Probably my favorite artist.
Cheesy
so.
the Snowman.
Yeah.
Young Jeezy, my favorite song from him to this day. I don't
Yeah.
care if you can shelf it, if it's got a shelf life or whatever. My President.
Oh, yeah.
My president.
That whole CD
My
was dope,
Lambo's
man.
blue,
That's
and
a-
I'll be
that's a dog-ass
goddamn if
idol
my
right there,
rims
man.
That's what I'm
ain't too.
saying.
Jeezy's a gangster, man.
Always kept it real,
Straight up.
How about you, brother?
Me, man, I was all over the map, dog. I was into. My mom had me. Funny enough, man, my mom's this 90-pound, 100-pound white lady.
And she had your big ass. Damn.
I know, dog.
That poor little lady.
2 pounds, man, when I was born. Believe it or not.
You were
dog.
2 pounds when you were born?
I gained a couple pounds. You know what I'm saying?
That's a growth spurt, bro.
Yeah, for real, man. I hit that bitch. No, but I was Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Biggie Smalls, Eminem, of course. I caught ICP later on in life. You know what I'm saying? From my Juggalo friends that now I know that they're Juggalos. Back then, I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you wearing that face
They're
paint?
cussing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is nuts. They're like cussing, saying weird shit, though. Like,
You got a trunk full of fake,
2
a car
liter
full of
butt
fat
cheeks. And, yeah, you got fat chicks and eating different shit. And, you know what I'm saying? Holy shit. You know what I mean? Them. And then it bounces back to, like, James Taylor and Stevie Wonder and shit like that because of my singing side. You know what I'm saying? I grew up singing instead not rapping at first. You know what I'm saying? But, like, Stevie Wonder and Al Green and Marvin Gaye and shit like that with soul, you know, Zapp and Roger.
Al Green.
And then now it's more like Tech Nine and fucking everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I graduated throughout the years, but I still jam back to old shit like that.
Well,
I was even listening to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC stuff.
Oh,
You know what
wow.
I'm saying? Like, yeah, straight. I ain't too proud to fuck say that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You hear they're back?
yeah, I heard they're back. I heard
Without JT,
Backstreet
though.
is back. Oh, NSYNC?
NSYNC, yeah.
Oh, no shit. That's because Justin Timberlake probably is like too high at a fucking rate for himself.
We're going to get to that, but I've been giving a note from my producer that Bob RoX was at the 420 show. He also took me to the ABK show, and I actually learned about ABK prior to the Insane Clown Posse. One of my most memorable lines was off of one of his songs, and it was actually from it was a different artist, but it was I fuck a bitch at Burger King just to get some free snacks. But Bob RoX was at this 420 show that Casper was at, so why don't we go ahead and take a break for a minute, take a breather, sip some of this dope water, and run that footage of my boss at 420.
Bob RoX on the scene at the Pike. We're here celebrating 420. We're smoking giant things with Santa Claus here. Rick Mole here. Rick,
How's it going, family? Starting this 420 show off to get ready to start this first leg of Generation Nightmares. And about to go rock shit. Got Generation Nightmares dropping and the Church of Zool dropping, so it's a big time in the underground right now.
can you tell us anything about Church of Zool? Where you know?
Yeah, there's like 8 songs on it, and that's all I can really tell you.
At least we know that they are songs and they are on it. We're here celebrating 420 with Toxic, and he is going to tell us everything that's coming up for Troubled Minds at Murder House Records. How you doing, Toxic?
Doing pretty good, man. How you doing tonight?
Good.
But no, we got a lot coming up, man. May 18th at Simon's After Dark, we got the Prom Night Reject show. Me and Quinn from LSP coming out and everything. We got the new album. Should be dropping very soon. I finished the last of that up last night. It's good to go from there.
I know you've told me personally a lot about the album, but tell the people watching, some of the people that you're collaborating with on the album, tell us some of the highlights that you want to tell people beforehand.
Well, right now, I mean, most of this album, we don't really have too many collaborations on there, but we do got our homie Scum from LSP and everything on there, and our homie McFly that rolls with LSP and everything. But I mean, most of the album is just me and Wicked K, and we, got a little bit of our label on there and stuff like that. But we also got, other projects that we will be working on coming out this year also.
So, have you released like the track list or anything? How close are we to the next album?
Sooner than a lot of people think, but I mean, I don't want to set a definite date on it yet.
Prom Nights Rejects. Are you guys doing anything different? What do you do to keep shows different? Tell me about that.
We try to make them, instead of more of a concert, we try to make them more of a show. Like this one, we got a lot of contests going on, dress up like, zombie prom, king, queen. Got a chance to win prizes. We'll have raffles and everything out there, and just ways besides music for other people to come out and enjoy themselves also.
So that's May 18th, Simon's After Dark in Allen Park. You can't miss it. Try to get a hold of Murder House Records for tickets, or sneak in. Kevin Simons loves that. Thank you for talking with us, Toxic.
No problem, man. No problem.
One day we'll talk to both of you at the same time.
That's right. Hey. Wicked K couldn't make it out tonight, but I still had to come out and represent and do some promotion and everything, and come out and kick it with my peoples.
Shout-outs you want to give?
I want to give a shout out to all my artists on Murder House Records: Wicked K, Demonic, Big Sin, Intellect, and anybody that's down with us, down with RoX-TV. Shout out Magic Ninja, everybody.
getting ready for the performances at the pre-party here at the Twisted 420 show in Pontiac. As you can see, this is just the smoking area, and it's crowded as a motherfucker. But if you go inside, you will see more people than you've ever seen, all crammed into a little brick building, ready to get fucking wild and sweaty with me, Bob RoX of RoX-TV, here in Pontiac.
Good to see that RoX had a good time at 420. Good to see that I had some coverage while I was...
That was a big joint. That wasn't a really, like, the biggest one I've smoked, but that was a damn good joint. There was some good weed in that shit.
Yeah, so that actually reminds me when I heard that Lion King reference. Aztec has been nominated for a category at the Detroit Music Awards.
Oh, for Lion King?
For Lion King, yes, sir.
That was a dope-ass release party, too. Like, the 2 release parties that I hit, or actually I hit 3. I hit AXC's Almighty, I hit Bakelow's Monster release, and I hit that release party. And they were all just dope as fuck.
Fresh.
They were all super fucking fun.
There
were so many people at your release party, dude. Everybody came out just to show nothing but love. It was awesome. So sick. So sick.
Awesome.
I heard about that shit, man. I wish I could have
than
made
I
it.
could have ever imagined.
Dude, the only turnout that I've seen at Simon's like that was the Axis Families tour and the shows that we put on.
Nice.
It's hard to see shows at Simon's with 150 plus people,
I know,
but you
it's a
pulled it
hard
off,
draw
bro.
there, man.
You pulled it off, though. There was so much love out there.
We gotta give a shout out to Kevin.
Oh yeah, Kevin Simons.
Yeah, that's the man.
We will see more than usual at Simon's because we've got the Murder Junkies that are going to be performing at Simon's After Dark. And if you look at the response of it, there's not even enough tickets to fill that demand.
Nice.
G.G. Allen's old band, so if you want to see a packed show at Simon's After Dark, I know I'm trying to get there, but God, who knows. We've talked a lot about music. I want to take a break for a minute with music because I just need to. You, sir, Grinch music. You, sir, Monstar. I find this to be very interesting. We've got 2 gentlemen sitting here with movies to motivate them, where it's like, yeah, we're doing hip-hop, and we were inspired by the Grinch. And which characters were you inspired by? Was it Bugs Bunny, or was it that, like, Babe Bunny that you kind of feel bad for, like, having the hots for?
Lola Rabbit.
Lola
Rabbit made me confused about bestiality.
Yeah.
Like, for
Do
real.
I love a bunny, or what's going on here?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, straight up.
So
I was in love with the bunny, like, for real.
So who was your inspiration? Which were you like? We're gonna be the Monstars. Like, you guys are sitting there smoking, enjoying some like '90s films.
The Monstar, man. You know, we're from. You know what I mean? Monsters from the gutter, stars in the game, kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the Monstars. And plus, if you remember Space Jam, man, the Monstars were tiny at first. You know what I mean? Boom,
Whoa, blew the fuck up.
Secret stuff. These motherfuckers were big. You know what I mean? Taking over the whole shit. You know what I mean? Balled up Michael Jordan. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Making a stomp in the game kind of shit. Monstar, man.
I hope they bring back the Monstars for the sequel film, which they haven't even confirmed yet for cast. They said that they've got the screenplay, that it's been greenlit for pre-production, but we can't find a basketball player. Apparently, there's some NBA issues going on there where LeBron James is supposed to be playing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like replacing Michael Jordan, and then
Is it for sure thing though?
yes,
Nice.
we are getting Space Jam 2. In the same sense that I guess it's like a little bit closer than getting that Crow remake and closer than getting that Beetlejuice 2 film.
Okay.
You know what I
There's
mean?
another Beetlejuice, dude. Beetlejuice
That's
was my
exciting.
shit
Hell
back
yeah.
in the
Yeah, that's
day.
wild, man. That's
I love
sweet.
that shit.
I love the remakings in the mix. You know what I'm saying? That's sweet.
I really liked what they did with the Grinch film. I'm when it comes to sequels, I'm a little scared. I like remakes when people try and keep to the original source material. I went and saw Pet Sematary recently.
The newer one?
Yeah. And in the first one, they're playing Sheena as a punk rocker when the truck driver's driving down the road about to hit Gage. Well, in the sequel, when the truck driver's going down the street, instead of that song playing, he's getting a phone call from a woman named Sheena.
No shit.
I swear to God, I saw that.
Crazy.
I was the only person in the theater that got it. I went and saw Jurassic World opening night, not the new one.
At all.
Yeah, I swear to
Yeah,
God, I
that's
made
crazy.
that. I was like the only one that was in the theater. I'm like, and I'm looking around, and everyone else is like, what's wrong with that guy down there? What do you see? Is there something that we don't know? Same thing happened to Jurassic World when I saw the T-Rex like break through the Spinosaurus. I was like, I got that joke, and everybody else in the theater was like, why is he pointing at the screen? Like, there's 2 kids that are sitting next to me. Well-behaved kids, by the way. Normally in movies like that, when you've got kids like you and they're sitting right next to you, you're like, oh, this is going to suck. But these kids just looked at me. Like, you okay?
Stir Crazy's in the house. What's up, Stir Crazy?
Oh, what's up, Stir Crazy?
Glad you can join
Also,
us, sir.
he was at the ABK in-store that happened
Oh,
over
Stir
at Hot
Crazy
Hits. Yes, he was.
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to go. What you guys
He
on
showed
there?
up with the Extra Overdose and his homie who him and I were talking this morning. So that was actually my first ever in-store, believe it or not. It was my first ever chance of actually like meeting ABK one-on-one aside from Astronomicon.
Was it the Hot Hits?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Hot Hits is bringing back in-stores.
Legendary.
So that brings me to this topic, and this is a terrible kind of a segue, but it kind of works. So growing up, we had in-stores. Growing up, we've listened to hip-hop. We've listened to music. Now, this case came to me today, again, requested by my boss from upstairs. DJ Paul is suing a gentleman named Travis Scott. It's 3 6 Mafia's song that I guess was redone called Tear the Club Up instead of Fuck the Club Up. And he's saying, well, I have no beef with this guy, but I'm suing him because he's using that source material. Now, this is gray water for me because when I was growing up, music was always sampled by artists, or they would like throw in like little like homages. So when does it become, especially you, sir, you being with the Monstars and things like that, and you, sir, doing Monsters and things like that, and I know what happened with you with Grinch music.
I don't want to hear about it.
I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, that's actually funny though. That is a funny story. I'm not going to get into it unless you want to.
No, I don't care. It don't matter.
I think
I'm
you
so
should
glad
tell
I
it.
got one of those Grinch music bracelets before they were
Everybody
discontinued.
goes through it at some point. Trust me.
But when does it become like, okay, copyright infringement versus like homage? Where is the line? Where, as an artist, where do you draw the line of like this person's either stealing my shit or this person's
Paying
repping?
homage,
Yeah, so,
right.
so you're asking like where it goes, where the showing love stops and where the stealing shit begins.
Exactly.
Well, if you're like, fuck their shit, I can do it better. Let me take the same exact thing and make it mine. You know what I'm saying? And that's obviously.
Yeah, I guess it's all about the intent you have.
Yeah.
You know?
James Secord says Juicy J told Travis it was all good, but little did he know that Paul holds the master, so it's not all good.
Yeah, and plus who you clearing it with, you know.
Yeah,
That's a huge thing. You got to make sure that shit is documented and signed nowadays.
One thing that I can think of is if you're like a low-known person and you end up sampling someone's shit, if you end up making enough noise to get that person's attention, it means you're doing something right, though.
Right.
Even if you use their shit, if you make enough noise that they're like, yo, why are you using my shit? You've made noise in one way or another.
Yeah, word. But then it comes to finances. If you can afford that lawsuit. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Or just cut your
Exactly.
whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, fuck it. It wasn't worth that.
Right.
I'll take it back then. My bad. You know what I'm saying?
I apologize. Please don't bankrupt me.
Yeah.
See, like our situation, they didn't even want us using the name or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't
Even if
matter-
you guys would have like changed it
didn't
with a
matter
Y or
what
something, they
didn't
were not
matter
having
what
it.
our cause was, nothing. You know, we went through lawyers and all that shit, but we messed up because we didn't go through a music attorney, which a regular attorney and a music attorney is a huge fucking difference. You know, Huzzah, found it out the hard way.
No shit.
Because he compared it to something like, you know, you have like father and son painting, you got father and son carpentry or whatever. It's like, how can all these people use all these, you know, the same shit? But we found out the hard way they don't necessarily work that way. It's all entertainment, so.
So if I came up with my own moving company called like Stanford and Son, they'd be like, oh, no, even though, you know.
There probably already is one.
Right.
Yeah, and if there was, they got shut down if they got enough of
Yeah.
noise with it.
But we were all just about the, you know, the meaning behind it. You know, we're recognized as this, like, you know, gritty music scene, but we actually had a heart to want to fucking, you know, help people at the end of the day. And I don't know, that's just what it was. And still what we ride with no matter what, you know what I'm saying? Still got that Grinch attitude, and ain't shit gonna change that.
Damn right.
Like that one line from Vinny Paz, "Ain't shit changed." Great song, by the way. Casper, if you'd have done your fucking homework, you'd have heard it.
I never did my homework, bro. Like, I've never
You,
done
you
my
if you're
homework.
sleeping on Vinny Paz and Jedi Mind Tricks and Army of the Pharaohs, like you done
I
fucked
like
up.
sleep. I'm sorry. I'm not a morning person.
I am a morning person, but it's because I go to bed at 9.
Yeah, because you're a fucking toddler.
Moving on. So we've got the gathering info out the way. We've got all sorts of other topics out of the way. There is one that hit home for me. I don't expect you guys to know this, and I am going to catch hell for this. So you guys may end up being like, you know, what do they call it?
I'm gonna need
Collateral
another host
damage.
soon,
Yeah.
so-
No,
Sid's
well,
gonna be
you're
fired.
leaving.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
leaving.
I'm not leaving for good. I'm only
You're going to be
on
gone
a
long enough to
6-week
where.
tour.
Yeah. I apologize for my guest host. He woke up on the wrong side of someone else's bed this morning.
Yeah, psh, my guest host.
I believe it's Sid Jones with Sid Jones and Casper. And since you're being, so anyways, there's a gentleman that passed away. His name was Omar Higgins. He was part of a band. This is where I'm going to catch flack. He was from a band called Negro Terror. It's a hardcore punk band. He was also part of the Chinese Connection Dub Embassy. He died of a stroke at the age of 35. And he was a church youth leader from Brooklyn, New York. He was enlisted in the Army. And the album Paranoia from Negro Terror will be released this year, so it's been completed and finalized. Now, I bring this up because I see like people dying young, whether it's from a bullet, whether it's from poor health, or just bad luck. And Omar Higgins is recognized in the hardcore punk scene by bands like Bad Assets and other bands that they just enjoy that kind of scene. And I wish I would have remembered to put up a picture of Omar Higgins, but I strongly recommend that you guys go and wish him the best of, his family, the best, his fans. Because much like in hip-hop, I didn't know Nipsey until he died. And
okay.
You know,
probably
the
same feel, yeah.
So I was like, man, I didn't know this Omar Higgins guy, and I never knew these bands. Now I'm going back and I'm listening to him, and now with the album coming out, I'm interested to see, putting this plug up, letting people know about this. Are they going to go and get it? And I'm going to say this. This is the twist, and people don't realize, because when I say hardcore punk and Negro Terror, people are like, that sounds oddly racist.
It's gutsy.
But
Light just popped up in the room. What's up, Light?
What up, Light?
Light, what up,
the man Omar Higgins was actually black. So before anyone thinks, wait a minute here, it's like with Bad Brains. They had their songs, Body Count, same kind of thing. So with Vinnie Paz and all that being political, I really felt like in punk rock, it's the essence of their music is politics. So I thought that was just one of those things that reminded me, I wanted to definitely do that because I promised a few friends that I would definitely wish that dude and his family.
Condolences, yeah, for sure. Condolences, man.
And that leads me into something. Okay, so I've always wondered, a lot of people, nobody really knows who they are until after they pass away. Like, you die, a lot of people blow up after they die. Does your family get the money for that? Or if, a record label owns you, the record label gets all the money after you die? I've always been curious on how that'll work.
At least until the end of what you guys contracted, what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then I hope that at least the record companies give the families some sort of reprimands or something like that.
Well, I mean, the artist cut got to go somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Does it go to their family that they left behind?
Probably first in kin, like a mom, a mother, or father.
I think that's where a will would kind of have to play a role. Like if they're not in a will, I'm guessing because record labels are known to be greedy.
Yeah, well, shit, if you don't have a will, though, if you're 22 years old and you're not expecting to die tomorrow and you don't have a will, if you have your life signed away to a record label, I'm pretty sure that label gets everything. And if that label is shady and just evil as fuck, I don't think they're giving the family anything out of what they made.
That should be in the contract, too, though, what happens if you die.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just one of those things that'll just have to be wrote in or something, I guess.
Didn't Tupac's mom get all his shit? You know what I'm saying? Like all his royalties and anything like that? I know that she owned rights
that probably
to the music.
happened after Death Row went under. Maybe that got sorted out because they were still making money off of those albums and they filed for bankruptcy and then ended up getting bought and then destroyed basically. It's like buying a business and then strap it with C4 and then blow it up.
I know she sold the unreleased album, was it Loyal to the Game or something like that, to Eminem. And he redid all that shit and jumped on it. And
yeah, because I know there are good people that'll help out with shit. Like when Heath Ledger died. He was doing this movie, and he died halfway through the movie. So Johnny Depp and a couple of other people came in to fill in that part for the rest of the movie. Thankfully, it was one of those movies where the character is able to change. I guess the guy goes into a mirror and it changes into a dimension. He becomes another person or some shit. But they all finished out that movie, and they gave all of the money that they were going to be making from that movie to his kid.
Oh, to his kid. Okay. Yeah. That's
Wait, are you talking about the Emporium of Dr.
Parnassus or some shit
like
that?
Johnny Depp was actually in that film with Heath Ledger. He didn't replace him. He was in the movie
Jude
with
Law,
him.
that was the other guy. Jude Law came in and helped out with finishing up with everything.
Yeah, because contrary to popular belief, The Dark Knight was complete. He did everything he needed to for that movie. He didn't die in the middle of it being
right.
So, but he did pass away prior to its release. So that's why you saw all the Heath. I know, and there's a lot of sadness that happens inside of the entertainment business as a whole, like as far as film goes. Robin Williams, when he passed away, I mean, they've kind of become a part of our lives. We've either had him in our CD players or in our VCRs.
That's
growing
why I'm
up.
skeptical to see the new Aladdin, dude. Like, Robin Williams was my fucking hero back
Oh,
in the day.
update on that. I am told that even though the trailer's been released and everything else, rumor has it that Will Smith will not be the genie, so they got to do like.
How the fuck does that
Really?
make sense?
That's what I was just told. I was told that.
So like the movie's ready to come out, and they just like, never mind, I changed my mind.
Well,
dude.
they're doing the Lion King reboot, which looks
amazing.
Shared that.
It looks
fucking love Lion King.
interesting, I guess. But there's one that I am excited for a remake because I'm a horror guy. Child's Play is getting that remake coming out in June.
Seen that as well, man.
That man, when I was first seeing this, I never clicked the trailer for it, never watched it, never nothing. But I learned my lesson. From watching like things of like just association, affiliation, like what I tie two and two together with. And one of the movies that I did not give a chance until recently was Venom. Slept on that film, pushed it to the wayside deliberately. Like, no, absolutely not. Not after what I heard about Spider-Man 3. You know, same thing. I've never seen any of the DC films after what I heard about Batman v Superman. I will always call it that, by the way. But I sat down and watched Venom. And I was like, I feel like I need to write somebody an apology letter because that movie was great.
For sleeping on it so long.
Yeah, like deliberately too, and like telling people I'm not watching this, I'm not anything. I'm like, there's nothing else in the video store that I haven't seen a million times, or these cheap ass new releases that keep coming out. So I gave Venom a shot. Now I'm like, maybe I should be a little more open minded when it comes to film. Much like some people that I affiliate with should be more open minded when it comes to music.
Yeah, shut up, Sid.
Fuck
So, speaking of movies and shit, either you guys going to plan on seeing on Family this weekend? That ICP film?
I'm watching the trailer, man. I want to catch it for sure.
I do too. I think it's gonna help out Psychopathic a lot, like because ICP and Psychopathic Records and horrorcore in general has a very negative stigma around it because people just simply don't understand it. And from what I've been seeing about this video, it shows juggalos in just nothing but a
In a
pure
better
limelight.
light, yeah, for sure.
Because like I was watching, what was it, Conan O'Brien that the
Yeah.
artist was on that
Yep.
we covered last week. I was watching that interview that they did with the star of it, and she was saying how they did a gathering scene, and every single juggalo there came from across the fucking world, and every single one of them treated her with nothing but love and respect. And that's just the way that juggalos are. Like you said earlier, they're the most kind-hearted people. Just don't piss them off. Don't give them
no
a
doubt.
reason to not respect you, and you're golden. But I think it's going to help Psychopathic and juggalos and underground community a lot by just showing a brighter light on who we are and what it is that we do. And it's going to take away a lot of that, oh, they're gangbangers and negative stigma around it. Like, I'm excited to see it. I really am. Only negative thing I got to say about it is it's coming out the same day as Avengers Endgame. So I'm hoping it doesn't drown it out. With
Well,
all the hype for that.
they've got a safety raft because it's only playing in select theaters. And
Family is?
yes, it's only playing in select theaters, and Fago Lovers does have that on their website of all the theaters that it will be showing.
Why don't we have that?
That's this weekend?
Yeah,
I don't know
Friday.
why, Casper. I mean,
I'm not one of our writers, sir. I'm not a
one of
writer.
our writers.
I'm not a writer.
One of our writers. This
I'm
guy
not a
over
writer.
here.
It's not my job. I don't do
I
articles.
got something in my pocket, and I will pull it out. Piss me off one more time.
You
I
pervert.
pissed me off. So there's a topic that I was keeping in my pocket.
Oh, he's
Nobody
got a
knows
love
about
letter,
this.
guys.
Nobody knows about this topic.
He's got a love letter.
And I said, if I get pissed off on this show, I'm gonna share this topic.
Oh no, I made him mad.
Nobody knows about this.
Wah, wah.
So it's a gentleman named Damon Albarn, part of a British group, and he says, quote, music needs to be more political. He thinks that, what's this quote that I have here? The selfie music is being unsustainable in our current climate. The Good, the Bad, and the Queen is the name of the group.
Now, what does he mean by selfie music? Like people that just
I
rap
think-
about themselves and how
I
awesome
think
they
that's
are?
what it is. I think it's that pretentiousness of like the mainstream music
The
and shit like
narcissism.
right. So I want to ask you guys your thoughts on that. And like I said, I wasn't going to discuss this topic,
I don't
but
know why it's such an issue with him. I really don't.
I'd like to push buttons.
That
So
you-
I want to know you guys' thought. Like, should music be political? Because even in the aspects of some punk, like it hasn't always been political to them, and
That big.
not all rappers are political either. The Insane Clown Posse never got political or anything like that.
Well, they got a little bit political. You can't say that they didn't, because they were talking about corrupt politicians and shit like that.
Right,
and that's political.
Right, and I just want to know, like, do you feel like this day and age have we become more of like a selfie kind of like, I'm great, I'm bad, check out these pictures that I took of me because nobody else will, because nobody takes that kind of interest in me type shit? Oh, what are you guys' thoughts?
To me, it kind of really depends. I mean, of course, if you have a voice, you should use it, you know.
Right.
But if you don't really understand politics, then you shouldn't speak on it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to be out there saying some shit you don't even know what you're talking about.
Right.
Which, me personally, I don't really follow politics too much.
Right.
You know, I don't even vote. You know, I'll say that because I don't know. I don't got the time.
Proudly.
I don't have the time to pay attention, which I'm sure I should, but personally, I don't believe in it.
I can't afford to pay attention.
It's
bro.
real.
Don't feel bad.
It's there, but it's just not something I believe in.
Right. I guess I should rephrase. Like, what is the difference between, like, the selfie music that this person is talking about, where it's like, it's all about me, I am great, versus, like, I guess, like, meanings of, like, politics and otherworldly things. Like, I hear all these songs all the time about my mom and how she treated me growing up. And admit it, that shit kind of gets old, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So where do you guys think of, like, it's like the me versus, like, giving a shit, like you talked about with Grinch music, like we're this ugly thing, but we got a big heart that we're sharing with the rest of the world. Where's that line drawn where it's like, okay, I do give a shit about these issues that need to be discussed, or like the me kind of music like we hear all the time in the mainstream music, like I got a gun, I got a gat, I've got, you know, it's basically dick
I got
waving.
monies and hoes.
Right.
Like Bake said, man, if you're schooled on all that shit, then yeah, you know what I mean, speak on it. Especially if your facts are truth, you know what I'm saying? If you're spitting some real ass shit and it needs to be heard, hell yeah, by all means, you know what I'm saying? Talk about that shit. Like Eminem did. You remember Eminem back in the day, I don't remember what album it was, but he had like Toy Soldiers and all that George Bush shit, and now he's dropping Donald Trump
that
shit.
was
like
that was the Eminem Show album. My favorite, actually,
on like
of
his
entire
opinions and shit that, you know what I mean? He won't spit nothing that ain't real. I mean, obviously, the Donald Trump shit's basically just him saying, fuck him, you know what I'm saying? But, like, the George Bush shit, he was saying some real shit, you know what I mean? Like, that's happening with the world.
What was that, White
George
America
Bush,
that he did that with?
It was
White America.
It was White America that did that. Square Dance, which was probably like my favorite.
Yeah, like Toy Soldiers. There was like
Mosh.
actually a handful of them, yeah.
Mosh was
you know
good.
What I mean? He wanted to get that point across so much, but he knew what the fuck he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't just
he was educated on the
shit.
subject.
Like, I think the president's doing this
He wasn't
shit,
just shit talking. He was educated on the subject.
Right.
And I feel like to even want to be educated in it, you gotta actually give a shit. Like, you gotta believe in it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta care about it. And it's like, if you don't care about it, you're not gonna learn about it. And therefore, you're not going to speak about it.
Well, in England, they're dealing with like the whole Brexit situation, and that's like really split the country, much like we are kind of split over here. And this band was talking a lot about Brexit, and people either choosing to ignore it and not talking about it. And I guess, like, if I had knowledge that you bake low, like what like let's say I feel like, or I've got like, you know, 90% sure that you have, like, and I'm trying to push you to go and do that kind of music, and you choose not to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's another thing when your fans are like, hey, you've talked about this on a podcast, or you did this video, why aren't you making music on this? Like, look at Snoop Dogg, for example. Snoop Dogg is always talking in his videos and his live streams. You know, he's mentioned Trump and several others. And he's never done political music, I mean, at least that I know of. It's always been the weed smoking music. So when does it become like, this is my personal opinion, I will share it on my Facebook, but I'm not going to make it part of my music?
The music comes from the soul. You know what I'm saying? He could be a politician in the head, but not in the soul. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
That's why I love music so much. Music is always a reflection of life in one way or another.
Yeah.
Any thought, emotion, feeling, anything that has ever happened to you, there is a song or a verse somewhere out there.
It's the getaway,
that
man.
someone's already put out there. We're starting to run a little bit low on time, so we're going to give you guys a chance. Anything that you got coming up you want people to know about, any shows, any albums? I know you got that album coming up soon.
Yeah, man, I don't got exact dates for any shows, but I do have some in the works. I got my Emotions EP coming out, which is coming real soon. I've been working on that for the past fucking year and a half. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've seen buzz about it. But I got the Emotions single, you know, my title track coming out with video and single. Man, Light's been helping me out tremendously producing my shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, he, you know, he's just about finished up with his shit. His album is fire, by the way. Shout out to that man, you know what I mean? Everything that he's doing for me and has done for me. We got, he's got a music video we're shooting next week. And we got the Monstar merchandise store up now. So it's
no shit.
Yeah, monstar.store, you know what I'm saying? And
MONSTAR.store.
Yep. And I got Aunt G merch coming out finally. Fucking
nice.
Shit. You know, and that's going to be on the merchandise store as well. So, yeah, man, just big movements at Monstar.
Shit, hook us up. We'll wear shit on the live, brother. You know that.
Hell yeah.
No doubt. I appreciate that, y'all.
You know we're all about promoting people.
Yeah, somebody said they've actually got a Monstar pin for me.
Yeah,
in the
man.
chat.
Yeah, we do.
So I'm excited about that.
I should have brought that shit, actually. I had it at my house.
I got to give you a ride home anyways, remember?
Yeah, perfect. I'll give it. Yeah, I'll fucking send it home with Casper.
Yeah, he doesn't wear pins. He wears those like little jelly bracelet things.
Yeah, man. So that's about it, man. Just big moves happening over there. Just singles dropping, music videos. You know what I'm saying? Just albums coming out. Light's album's gonna drop, then my album's gonna drop, and fucking we're just gonna boom and take over. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Blow up like
Stomping on this
Monstars.
bitch. They're gonna hear the name Monstar. I promise you that shit, man.
Are you guys doing a Lights Out 4 this year?
We are doing a Lights Out 4, man. I think it's gonna be August 23rd.
That was where I met you, wasn't it? Was that the Lights Out 3?
Yeah, I think so, man. Yeah, man. That shit was wild too, man. So
that was a fun night.
We got a date for that. That bitch, we're planning on selling that out, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to get ready for that, and you're going to see a lot of promo for that and shit like that, man. So,
Solid.
I'm thinking Pontiac again, Crowfoot. You know,
you guys had a dope turnout at that place.
Yeah, man, I love that venue all on its own, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is,
and that
man.
show was dope, too, because Light's entire extended family was there that night. Yeah, I got so much good footage from that night, and it was amazing because I think he had his dad and his uncles and everybody.
Oh yeah,
there,
the family support on his end too is outrageous. Yeah, man, and just basically, real quick, one more quick little rundown is what you can kind of experience on this Emotions EP, man. I went through hell and back in it. You know what I'm saying? Like my whole life shit has went to shambles, to greatness.
That's why it's called Emotions.
Yeah,
there's
wavy,
a lot of emotion
man.
in it.
A lot of fucking emotions in it. So
That's
I can't
awesome.
wait for everybody to hear it in the breakdown. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna know the name Aunt G. You know what I mean? From Monstar. I mean, a lot of people do so per se, but I want to just break in. Like I got country, I got fucking rock and roll, I got
you got that fucking voice, man. You can do anything with that voice you got, bro.
The variety, man, is nuts. So yeah, man, they can find me on Aunt Jizzle on Facebook, Aunt G the one and only on Instagram, Aunt Jizzle 001 on Snapchat. Shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm all over, man. I'm trying to just break in the scene.
And we will do what we can to help you with that, brother.
That's solid, dude. Yeah, I'm definitely behind that.
And like I was saying, it's good music when someone puts emotion into it. They put their emotion and their feelings and their 100% into their music. It's always gonna turn out good.
I almost cried on shit. You know what I'm saying? Like even in the studio, hold on,
hold it back,
hold up. I can't finish that right now. Hold on. All right, back at it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I appreciate the support, man, and y'all having me here.
Man. That's
no doubt,
dude,
man.
I fuck with the Monstars, man. My first song I ever heard, actually, I never listened to the album front to back, but I started to after I heard the song "Keeping It 100." And then I became a fan of all the Monstars. I was like, holy shit! Because there's a trick that I learned. Here's a trick for you guys: if there's a song that you like, and it's the only one song you like on the album, go find out who produced it. And then look up all the other albums or songs that they had produced, and it'll help you find songs. Because if you like that kind of a vibe, it's usually based off the producer, not necessarily the artist. But there's been albums, like I said, with Keeping It 100, and then there was 3 different copies of that, wasn't there, of that album?
Yeah. The red, the green, and the blue.
Yeah, I listened to all of them front to back, and I was I started looking into more music from the Monstars.
He had the different intros, and then he had a bonus song at the end of every one, which was a fucking great idea. You know what I mean? They definitely boomed out and shit. But yeah, man, we appreciate RoX-TV and all that shit, man. Monstars love, man.
I fuck with the Monstars, dude.
About promotion. What about you, Big? What you got coming up this year? I know your album Monster just came out. What was it?
Yeah,
October?
We just released that actually December 28th online, but we're doing physical copies right now because a lot of people have been asking me about it. Wanted to build my Spotify, my iTunes, and everything because, nowadays everything's online streaming and shit. So that's why we originally released it through there. But we're doing the physicals. I'm actually already working on my next album, which the name for that is Chuck. This is the first time I ever announced that. So there you go.
Hell
Boom,
yeah.
bang.
Exclusive.
Act like you care.
I love Rockstar exclusive or RoX-TV exclusive, brother.
But yeah, then other than that, man, I got a show with Lil White at Hot Rocks June 7th, doing Unity Fest November 2nd with Blaze, ROC, and Buckshot.
That's gonna be a dope show. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah. It's cool. And I mean, I'll be at the gathering. Unfortunately, not performing this year, but gonna be there anyways, man.
Oh, we'll kick in, chill,
It's a
bro.
reunion.
We'll kick in, chill.
Don't feel bad. I'm not performing at the gathering either.
Hey, I'll probably be drunk, stumbling, rapping somewhere anyway.
Yeah, because I can see it now. Like I will say this though. I am in talks for a spoken word at my school that I went to. So my high school, they want to bring me in as a guest speaker. So we're in the talks for that.
Those poor kids.
I know. It's gonna be like, and that reminds me of the time. Oh God, the kids are gonna be like, I wish I was
for
in
another
class.
hour. Half the audience is asleep. They're mad because they're missing their lunch.
Right.
All right, Casper, that's it. I'm pissed at you, so I'm cutting off the feed now.
Oh, good
I'm
luck
signing
for you.
off.
We got to close off anyways. It's about time to finish it up.
I know we do.
But
I just wanted to make it seem like that I was.
No, it's not your call.
Okay.
It's not your call. You are not my boss, sir.
Much love, y'all. Much love, man.
Angie, thank you very much. And
Thank you,
showing enough
guys.
Respect with Monster Piccolo. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you guys very, very much.
Tune in each week for RoX-TV Weekly with Sid Jones. Thankfully, I will have a new co-host for the next not long
Actually,
enough.
no, I'm here next week, so fuck you. You get me next
Oh,
week, too.
God damn it.
I don't leave till Thursday. I don't leave till Thursday. And then we'll have some special guest hosts and some more guests for you coming in soon. We got a lot of shit coming up this year.
Yes, we do, and we are very excited.
Everybody's got a lot of stuff coming up.
Yes, we're going to get a takeover from these guys. They're going to come over in like sunglasses. He's going to get a mohawk.
And suits, and we're going to say, now we're doing the interview.
I'm working on the mohawk already, dog.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, fuck with that.
No, I'm going for French braids.
I like what
but
you do with your
we can
beard,
do
by
it.
the way. I did want to point that out. I like that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in this
my
week.
facial hair.
Make sure you're checking these guys out on all their social media platforms.
Yes, Bakelo, where can they find you at real quick?
Bakelo.com.
All right.
Has everything on there. Facebook, Instagram, all that.
All right. Sid, anything else that we need to cover?
No, I will cover the rest of everything that we may have missed next week, just to kind of give that up in the beginnings of it. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I have said my piece. Casper has
Much
said
love,
his.
y'all. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, thank you guys. Much love to each and every one of you. And if you ain't down with this, RoX-TV, Bakelo, or the Monstars, fuck what you think. See you guys next week.
Yo, man, this is Shaggy Too Dope with this bitch. I might be dope, but I ain't as dope as RoX-TV, you know what I'm saying? If you want to check out all the dopest latest shit out in this tour, motherfucker, check out RoX-TV, you motherfucker, you.
RoX-TV, your link to the underground and to the mainstream, yo.